this is Laura from LiveVisions.com, and I wanted to give you some information today about career. Most of you guys had a lot of questions about career when I had the money video up. Well, I also have two other videos now, planets, career by your planets in the money houses, and also career by the signs in those money houses. Now this one is going to be the career by the house, okay, of the money house, the ruler of the money house where it resides in, and I'll explain. Okay, so let's say, I'm going to give you an example, okay? Well, my second house ruler, the ruler to the sign that rules my second house is in my seventh house, okay? Now, the seventh house has to do with business, trade, merchant, females, foreign businesses, relationships. So here's the thing, I will tell you, a lot of my business is what's going on with my love life. What do you see happening in my love life? And I do counseling too on my website, where there's so many times, it's like I look at the chart too, and I look at what's going on, and everybody wants to know about the relationship. So I do deal with a lot of relationships all the time. Now I'll give you another example. Now that was the ruler to my second house. Now the ruler to my sixth house, my sixth house is Aquarius on the cusp, right? So my first house, just so you know, is Virgo on the cusp, and Mercury's in my seventh. Okay, so that's how I looked at the seventh house. So my sixth house is Aquarius, right? So I'm going to look at where's Uranus, right? So Uranus is in my second house, and the second house rules banking, which I did for years, investments, accounting, restaurants, teaching, which I'm doing now, consultants, which I'm doing now, and I'm also doing relationship counseling, psychologists, and writing, which I am actually writing right now. So yes, all of these things. Do you see how it resonates for the person, Now, I will say the ruler to my 10th house, my 10th house is like the very, it's Taurus. So Venus is in my 8th house, right? So the 8th house would be insurance, research, death, and I do research because astrology is kind of like, research. Death-related, which if you read the About Me on my website, you will understand the whole death-related. Read it. It's crazy. Okay. Metaphysics, there you go, astrology, or the sex industry, which I have not worked in. Although I do give relationship counseling to people who have, sometimes there's incompatibility in a sexual way, and they want to talk to somebody who's not going to be judgmental or, understanding about what's going on with them in that regard. So I've done all of this. So how is this going to help you? Okay, so look at your chart. Now look at the second house and the 6th and the 10th, okay? And look at the rulers to those houses and see where those rulers fall in. If the ruler to the 2nd, the 6th, or the 10th house falls in your first house, you could be self-employed, politician. You could work in the public or at large. You can work or a health club, dealing with the body and health and fitness. But I really want to say self-employed, big time. Okay, if you have your 2nd, 6th, or the 10th house ruler residing in your second house, that's banking, investments, accountants, restaurants, teaching, consultants, psychologists, or writers. Now, if you have the ruler to your 2nd, your 6th, or your 10th house in your 3rd house, you're going to do something with communications, arts, sales, advertising, computing, writing, publishing, or even work with a sibling. Okay, if the ruler to your 2nd, 6th, or the 10th house is in your 4th house, you may do agriculture, building, trades, real estate, working on your vehicle, water, geology, and mining. And you could also really look into, I want to say maybe you're in the field of finding people's relatives, people who have been adopted and they don't know who their family is, because 4th house has everything to do with home and family. You could also work with a family member or work from home. Keep that in mind. But I want to say this has a lot to do with you know, the fourth house, actually, home and family, but some of those other fields as well. Okay, fifth house. If your second house ruler, sixth or the 10th house ruler falls in your fifth house, you could be involved in politics, a stockbroker, religious rituals, entertainment, authorship, or even an actor. Fifth house is acting. And it's also anything creative, you know. I want to see the fifth house as anything creative. Also, fifth house does also have to do with children, creative projects, and pretty much that we covered everything, I think. Okay. The sixth house now, if you have your second house cusp, your sixth or your 10th house cusp, ruler in your sixth house could be a lawyer, military, police, laborer, health-related professions, food industry, or a waiter. And I want to say, too, that after I'm doing this, I think of stuff that I didn't add. This would also be anything like a, you know, well, there is health-related in here. So nurse, or something where you're at service to other people, as far as you could work in a nursing home, you know, service to others in some way, or food industry as well. Because the sixth house is only, it's your health, but it's also service to others, just so you know. So you may be in the service industry in some way. Now, if the ruler to your second, sixth, or 10th house is in your seventh house, you could deal with just business at large, you know, trying to reach the masses, you know, like sales or something. Trade, you could be a merchant. It has to do with females or foreign business. Also, partnerships. It has to do, seventh house has to do with relationships, partnerships. You could work with a partner, or maybe your field, like me, is working with people in their relationships, you know, helping them in that way. So that's a huge thing. Now, if you have the second house, sixth house, or 10th house ruler residing in your 8th house, you could deal with insurance, like life insurance, something like this, research, which could also be astrology and metaphysics, any kind of death-related field. Maybe it's your funeral director or something, or you could be a psychic medium. Hello. Anything with the metaphysics or the sex industry. Okay, if the ruler to your second, sixth, or 10th house is in your 9th house residing, you could be a lawyer, anything with law, university teaching. You could travel, religious professions, foreign countries too, or foreign people. Okay. 10th, now if you have your ruler to your 10th house, I'm sorry, to your second house, to your 6th house, or your 10th house, in your 10th house, that is a government job, dealing with the public and the masses, managers, politicians, all that stuff. Okay, now if you have your ruler to your 2nd, 6th, or 10th house residing in your 11th house, you could be involved in the trade industry, business, accountants, financial institutions, group, and work. And I want to say, too, it's not just, I want to say you could also be kind of like the humanitarian. Like maybe you stick up for people's rights. Maybe you're an HR person, you know, human resources. Or I want to say, too, you know, you could be kind of like the underdog, too. Like, this isn't right, I'm going to say something. Or, you know, or you may get groups together or organizations. Maybe you cement a group together or an organization and you start something that way. So that's the 11th house. Now, if you have your 2nd house ruler, your 6th or your 10th house ruler in your 12th house, this could be any kind of foreign job requiring secrecy. So like a secret agent or something, I don't know, FBI or something. Everything's secretive, you know. Even military. Sometimes militaries can be secretive too. Hospitals, prisons, charities, or an advocacy. So just keep those in mind. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for you. And if you are interested in a class, I do have specials just this month only for the April classes. So if you, and it's first come, first serve, so you want to book your seat. They're only $100 a class, not a class, for the whole 4 sessions. So it's $100, that's it. So anyway, I'm never going to have prices again this cheap, so you may want to take advantage. Anyway, I hope you really did like this video, and I hope it was informative for you. If you would like more information and you had a question about a field, a work field, and you were curious about, you know, the house your ruler to that was in, put it below and I can help you with that. But I do not do full chart readings. Do not, and I'm going to repeat again, do not put your entire chart below, because you're writing a lot and I don't have time to do your entire chart. You know, between classes that I'm teaching and between doing readings for paying paying customers, or doing consults over the phone, I do not have time. And I'm even writing now, so I don't really have time. So just keep it pertaining to the video, not like, well, my moon, my Venus, my Mars, my this, my that, what do you think? You know, no, I don't. That's a reading. I don't know if you know it or not, but it is a reading. And you could, if you don't have the money to book a reading, what you do is just do the Ask the Astrologer. It's like $25, but at least you could get some of these questions answered. And if you want to take a class, I would suggest you do that. Take a class, because I think the basics class is really going to answer a lot of questions for you as far as what the planets are and their meaning and where they are in your chart. So I think this would be really beneficial. Anyway, I hope you liked the video, and if you were interested in classes, click the link below under specials, and you can see the, and this is just for this month, for February and March are the sign-ups for the classes for April 2013. That'll be it. So get in now, and I will talk to you soon with more videos. Thanks. Bye.